know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm hurt, yes, I'm dead. Most things that I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you change.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Taylor XO, or welcome to Taylor XO if you're a new subscriber. So, y'all, let's get into this tea because, as you guys know, a whole hell of a lot of shit went down on YouTube last night. And we all knew it was coming. We all predicted that this was going to, this whole friendship was going to finally blow up on these YouTube streets. And as you guys know, Liv and Jazzy, are internet friends. I think a lot of people, or the way they try to perceive is that they are these real best friends in real life. And, I know they were friends because, obviously Liv does know a lot of things about, what went down in Jazzy and Chris's relationship as of when, she started being her friend. But, you know, it's really crazy how these girls decide to become the best of friends over the internet after seeing, these girls for like one or two times in person. And for the most part, they just talk to them over the internet or over the phone or over text. And they decide to include these girls into their lives and, even call them up in the middle of arguments, personal situations going on in their households. And, a lot of those times after everything has been said and done, after, countless calls and countless texts and phone calls and business has been ran, that's when people decide to want to spill the tea. And a lot of people have been saying it forever that, when Liv and Jazzy blow up, when their friendship is finally over and it blows up on these YouTube streets, stuff is really going to go down and we will truly find out the truth of what goes on behind the scenes, not only on Jazzy, but on Liv too, because I know for a fact that Liv has told Jazzy and confided in Jazzy, because we also know that Liv doesn't really have friends of her own over there. Like Everybody always speaks on how Jazzy has no friends, but Liv over there has no friends neither, at least any real life friends that she's been friends with for years and years and years, or she went to school with these friends. So, me personally, I would never go as far as to tell any internet person any of my personal real life business that goes on in my day-to-day life. I mean, there's some people who get desperate enough, like Jazzy, who just want somebody to talk to and just, vent. So they tell anybody anything because they just get so desperate. And at this point, I think Jazzy was just in a very desperate place after losing Chrissy. And, I guess Chrissy was somewhat, her one and only real friend. I guess, she was friends with her on YouTube, but she also was friends with her in real life also. But Liv and her mainly just had this communication or friendship to where they just communicated over phone and text and over YouTube, but they never really, decided to take it as far as to go out and spend time or meet up with each other. And, we saw them together once, but we know that they weren't, truly real friends off the internet, I'll say. So, it started with Jazzy calling up on one of the reactors panels and basically trying to tell, her side of things and, the hate that she gets off of YouTube. And in the midst of all that, some stuff got started between her and Liv because Liv felt that she wasn't defending her friend. So then it went to Liv feeling some tight way and them not speaking, to then now we ended up here where, Liv is deciding to spill some stuff that's been going on that she's been wanting to speak about. And she also said that, a lot of the things that people have been speculating about Jazzy and Chris's relationship has been true all along, and that she didn't really need to spill anything because people had already known what's been going on in the home. So I 100% believe that Jazzy has been calling her and telling her what's been going on, because we've also heard Chrissy say the same thing, that she was also drained and just ready to be done with the friendship with Jazzy because, she was frustrated that Jazzy was continuing to stay with this abusive man. And she told her time and time again. And, Jazzy decided to still stay. So she just had to remove herself from the situation. And that's basically, what Liv was trying to say. But, let's get into this clip of Jazzy coming on live, and she came on live the first time, and it was kind of predictable, and I predicted it myself. I knew that she would first come on live and act like she didn't know what was going on, and she really didn't address anything between her and Liv except her just saying that she didn't understand why people kept keep getting into such a frenzy over her and Chris, because nothing's going on and people are exaggerating it. But listen to this clip of her, kind of throw hints in at first saying that Chris was at this hotel. So let's get into this.
Yes, like he was like, we don't got school tomorrow? I said, no. She said, yes. I was like, God, I'm glad y'all here because we ain't got to wake up. We got to do what we want to do. We watched movies yesterday. We was up watching movies. Chris got iced in at work, and they gave them hotels, which is a total fucking good thing because I did not want him to drive in that ice. Let's call it, we'll just say ice. It was bad. And I talked to him for a while, and then I was like, we watched a movie.
So after people had saw this video, people were thinking like, well, why would she say that Chris was at a hotel? Because there's no way that his job was providing him a hotel just for a little bit of ice on the ground. And not only that, but sis, what job is he working at to where they're providing hotels? I mean, you only hear of that at like, really nice careers where people work and put in a lot of time and earn decent money from that job. You just don't find people, going to jobs and just having them put them up hotels just like that. So that was the first slide that people were just like, okay, well, putting two and two together, being that the people are claiming that the cops were called there on Saturday, people were just left to think like, okay, well, because the cops were called, were the cops telling him, he needed to separate from Jazzy and they had sent him to a hotel and maybe Jazzy paid for it. I know that's what a lot of people were saying. And you know what? It really sounds true because we know this girl is so hard up for this man and she would do whatever, whenever, and even after, he did all these horrible things to her, she's the type to where she would still put him up in a hotel, do what the cops say, and then have him there the next day right in her face, acting like nothing ever happened. But let's get into this clip of Liv basically, spilling some tea, because right after that, after she had went on live and tried to act like, she was the innocent person in this whole thing, and she didn't know why, Liv was coming online to try and spill her tea, Liv had to come online and say a few words about a few things. Now, she didn't really spill any tea, but she did get into a little bit of what happened and why she went on to live and said what she said. And honestly, I think that it was kind of pointless because, sis, like, if you're not spilling the whole tea, then why are you just getting on live and spilling half-ass tea and just leaving people wondering, like, what really did happen? Because, I'm just a strong believer, and if you're not going to say, the whole story, then just don't say nothing at all. There's no point of leaving people with a half-assed story, leaving people to assume and create these theories of what really happened, because the things that came out of Liv's mouth were just like, okay, well, maybe this isn't a skip, because she did sound like she was genuinely concerned about the whole situation. And I know Jazzy tried to come online and play it off like nothing happened. And of course she was going to do that, because we know that Jazzy has to save her own ass. So we know that, probably for the safety of herself, she's not going to come online and say what really happened or say that this man hit her in the face or anything like that. So, Liv went online to say a few things, and let's get into that.
I really don't. Because that shit, it's not just run-in-the-mill everyday shit. That's some off-the-wall crazy shit. And I was just trying to look out. And I know, I fucking cried with my mama talking about this shit. I cried with you on the phone. I cried when you hung up on me. Bitch, I cried. Wasted tears. Because you still fucking... Oh my God, talking about this is draining. No, bitch, you don't know what draining is. Obviously, you don't. And you wonder why I'm so pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you because why you bring it to me and then you feel some type of way because I fucking cut for you, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I told you today, I overestimated you. That's what I did. I thought that you had some type of something in you. You know what I mean? I know it's not easy. I know it's hard to leave. I know all of that. You knew I would have fucking drove down there. I would have done anything you want me to do. But you don't want that. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. I guess you just want somebody to call. Like, I'm talking about, like, calling in the middle of the whole situation, okay? And you know what the fuck you said to me. I'm not going to repeat it, but you know what you said to me to make me so upset and, like, scared for you. You know what the fuck you said. So to even act like surprised, like, just imagine if it was flipped. Imagine me calling you with that shit. And this is not the first time, bro. I've stayed on the phone hours with them. Just to de-escalate the situation. I've stayed on the phone hours with these two. But she don't give a fuck. She don't care. She don't care. She don't care. As long as she got her YouTube and her man, or whatever else, I guess. But don't even try to make me seem like the bad person in this situation. There's no other way to get through to you. What the fuck is a phone conversation gonna do? What is a text gonna do? I've already done that. I've wrote you long text messages. You're strong. You can do this. Do this. Get a restraining. Go to the police. I told A to B. I've been through this shit. I'm gonna tell you how to get through this shit. Okay? So you can walk away with your kids. Okay? Because I didn't get to walk away with my kids, bitch. But I was trying to help you so you could walk away with yours and be safe and be good. But you don't want that. So cool. I'm out of it. I'm done. I'm not going to say nothing else. Unless you try to get funny and try to tell something or tell things or whatever the fuck you want to. I don't know. I don't think you're going to do that because I'm telling you, this was not from a hurtful place. I was not trying to bring your business to the internet so I could get famous. What the fuck? I don't need your business for that. And if I was going to do that, I would have really did that, okay? Because, bitch, I could. You know. So, you know that wasn't what it was. So for you to not even correct people and be like, no, like, I really scared Liv. Bitch, you really fucking scared me, bro. But you don't care. You really don't care. Nigga, get the fuck out of my life, big stupid ass nigga. A nigga that makes videos about bitches all day. Fuck you. You really don't care. You really don't care. I had to see that for myself. You don't care. I'm starting to think that you just as toxic as him at this point. Okay. I could block you too. Whatever the fuck you want to think in your head. But I'm sorry that I couldn't just sit around and just let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do anymore. I just couldn't. As a friend, I already knew you have to see the shit for yourself. There's nothing I can do. I can make sure you're safe. I can make sure everything's okay. You talk to me, I'm there for you. But bitch, you want me... Is it gonna stop? Like, is there an end to this, or it's gonna keep going? Because that fucking shit is very draining. Like, extremely, 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 extremely draining. And if I didn't give a fuck about you, girl, I wouldn't give a fuck. I would have let you keep telling me these stories. I would have ha, recorded you, brought it to you. Girl, I told you today in the message too, I said, it's sad because you don't know when people actually do love you, because you don't know what love is at this point. Me coming on this internet and saying this shit, you don't see it as love, bro. But I'm trying to, like, help you out of that shit. But you don't see it like that. Like, you don't see anything. You just see what you want to see. And you just so damn hard-headed. And you honestly don't want to be out that situation, like I said. Honestly, at this point, I feel like you're just as toxic as him. Because you keep... I'm telling you, it's like one day the whole world is gonna explode. The next day, oh yeah, we good. And I understand because I've been there, but not to that extent. Not to that extent. Not everything piled up into one, like that dude. That dude he ain't shit. I don't care. I really tried to like you, homie. But bro, and let your ass get on here and talk about me. He better not say shit either. Keep your mouth shut, my nigga. Like, that's on everything. If I already know Jasmine pillow talking, she probably tell you all my motherfucking business. You better keep your motherfucking mouth shut. I bet you do. Because the way you've been moving, you should be under the fucking jail, my nigga. For real. They should be beating your ass in jail. Anyway, I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Is that a threat? Is what a threat? No, because I'm never gonna be around him. I'm disgusted by him. And I also told you, girl, I overestimated your strength. And I thought that, like I told you, you could turn this around. Like, people want to see better for you. With me, they just hate me, bitch. They don't give a fuck. I could be everything great in my life, bitches.
So I added a lot of that clip in because, what Liv was saying was, I feel like, a lot of truth to it. I know a lot of people say that Liv does lie, which she does lie, especially about a lot of things that go on with her. But the way that she was explaining things and just the amount of time that she's been friends with Jazzy, and just by Jazzy's history of telling her friends all her business and just trying to vent to people because she has nobody else in her life. I very much do believe that, the things that Liv did say did go on in the house and, have been going on for a very long time. I do know that a lot of times the men who do abuse women, they try to get in and, create this image of that there's some good man and, that they have the best interests of the woman and, that there's some great, motivator and great lover and, very affectionate, and which he didn't really show from the beginning, but he did try to portray something that we know clearly that he is not. And, these type women, especially like Jazzy, they cover for them. They hide, a lot of the things that go on. They even put their children before these men. And then it ends up becoming into, these type situations to where police are called, because a lot of the times, they continue to take and take and take and take. And a lot of times, unless they end up dead or, one of their children end up dead or they're in a situation where they lose everything, that's, when they decide to wake up, and by then it's already too late. And so I do think that Liv was, trying to conceal some things, because she also said in that clip that, Jazzy has some things on her too, which obviously a lot of people said that, Liv wasn't telling Jazzy anything, but we do know that Liv was over there running some business of hers to Jazzy. And I think that she's trying to save her own ass because, she possibly doesn't want some things out, like maybe her, baby daddy really being Zolo, or, some things behind the scene that Liv probably did that we don't know about, because everybody has their stuff behind the scenes and skeletons in their closet that people don't know about. But when you continue to let a bum in your house, control you, abuse you, especially in front of your kids, it's very, very sickening. And, that's when a woman is just past brainwashed by a man and you're just sick for this man at this point. You're not even in love. You're just sick for this man. And we know that Jazzy is the type that she is going to try to conceal any type of abuse that is going on because she does have this YouTube channel that she has to come on to every day. And I think a lot of it is that she thinks that, she doesn't have this man in her life anymore. She's, lost and she's not going to equal up to anything. And she's just going to be a single mother, which says you are now. You're already a single mother. You already do a lot of these things by yourself. And the fact that you think if you lose this man, you won't have nobody or nothing. When you already don't have nothing now, you're losing everything behind this man. He has tarnished your channel, which you already tarnished it yourself, but bringing this man on, there's really no coming back from this. I think, women who sit around and continue to watch a woman who allows the abuser in their home, and especially to do it in front of their children. I just think that you are just condoning, not only abuser, but like Liv said, also a toxic person herself. She's almost just as toxic as Chris, because it is true. If you continue to allow that behavior, especially in front of your children, you are just as toxic as him. And honestly, it is truly sickening how these women get so brainwashed and so controlled. But coming from Chris, he's the type person where he is so insecure that he has to down women, because that's really all he can do is down women. Because God forbid he were to step to a man, a man would overpower him and make him feel like less of a man, because he already knows he's less of a man. So he wouldn't dare do that to a man. But to sit in the house and beat down women and try to get this, big authority and this big type of respect in a house full of children and a single mother, it's truly sickening. And you can just tell what type person he is. But we've all knew this. And, Jazzy thought that she could hide what type man he was for the longest. She thought that, nobody was going to find out about anything. But sis, when you have a social media channel, you go live, you do these vlogs. And not only that, but people have spoke out on him already. Like, what are people left to think? Is everybody lying? And that's another thing. This girl thinks that, everybody is lying and everybody is out to get her. But sis, we have the best interest of the children. And if something is going on in there, especially not only to you, but to those children, I think people care most about that. That's your choice if you want to sit there and continue to allow a bum to live in your house, to financially control you, financially abuse you, control you, and do everything else to you. That's your problem. But, for those kids' peace of mind, that is not a way to live. And just like Liv said, it is draining. It is very draining. So let's get into this post that Liv made on Instagram, because right after Jazzy had went live, she had a few things to say. But if you guys want to go check that out, you can. I'm not going to put clips in here, but Liv went on to go on Instagram and she said this in an Instagram post. So Liv went on to say, wow, imagine throwing a friend under the bus for trying to help you to protect a man who literally spit in your face. I swear that shit is wild. Now I understand why females had to cut you off publicly. You're toxic as fuck and you like that shit. Hate me all you want, but I try to stick up for what's right, but you can't help anyone who doesn't want help. And I totally agree. At this point, Jazzy has to make the decision to leave on her own. And at this point, none of what the internet says or any subscriber or mod on her channel or her mother or her father or Chris or Liv or anybody who decides to say anything to her, she will not decide to leave until she wants to leave. And unfortunately, we know that, Chris was with her and had multiple kids on her, was pimping and doing everything else, and she still did not leave him. So who knows when she plans to leave this bum, and I honestly don't think it's anytime soon. And knowing him and his controlling ways, he'll probably tell her, if you leave, I'll kill you, because, we know that he doesn't want his free ride to end. But also I want to include this clip in here that had came out while I was in the middle of editing this video. And it was a video that a reactor posted, Flo the Beggar Slayer. And this was a very shocking clip. I guess it was pulled from one of the last lives that Jazzy did. And not a lot of people caught it, but I guess she ended up catching it, or somebody that she knows ended up catching it. And she posted it, and I was just so shocked to hear what came out of this little boy's mouth. And it is sad that it's gotten this far, that the kids are now witnessing it with their own eyes, or now hearing it. And this is what Aiden had to say in the live when he was talking about his mother.
Has to be
Mom,
fake.
this is Matthew.
So as you guys heard that clip, it was a clip of Aiden clearly saying, "Mommy, did Chris smack you?" And as you guys can see on the picture on the screen, people were saying that Jazzy's eye was blackened, and that's why she had took a break off of YouTube after that whole incident happened, because she didn't want people to see her black eye. And clearly in the picture and in the live, if you guys go back and watch it, you can clearly see that she had some type of black eye. So not only did this man spit in her face, but he, from what Aiden said, he obviously witnessed Chris smacking her in the face, or he heard her smack her. And it's just so sad for these kids to have to witness this type of abuse, from going in a situation to where, we saw My Shabby Life, and now, being transitioned into a life of their mother, bringing in this man in the home who was not only abusive, but, towards them, but abusive towards their mother. And, it's truly, truly unfortunate. And I hope, because Jazzy is not a victim in this situation. If you have the means to get out of this situation, you already take care of yourself independently. And then you just choose to keep a bum in there who not only doesn't work and provide, but also abuses you and does this in front of your kids. You deserve this at this point, and you were just as worse for not getting yourself out of this situation, for this to be a healthy situation for your kids and not have your kids be stressed out and on edge because they don't know when mommy's going to get hit or something's going to go down in the house. So I'm very shocked that people caught this, because I myself watched the whole live and I didn't hear anything of what Aiden said, but it clearly them kids seen something and it happened in front of them on Saturday. And not only is it unfortunate for, Jasmine to have to be getting beat on by a man, but it's also unfortunate that these kids are seeing this. And I honestly hope that, CPS, just like she said, CPS and police were at her house all week because of the situation. And I honestly hope that CPS does, interview these kids and get, what's truly happening out of them. And, these kids get put in a better situation, because if their mother is not going to take matters into their own hands, then clearly CPS does, because we also know that, as far as we know, their family is not, stepping in or doing anything in the situation to help these kids and get these kids in a healthy environment. So comment down below what you guys think. I mean, do you think that not only did Liv spill that, Jazzy, was spit in the face, but she also spilled that, this stuff has been going on, that he breaks her things in the house, that he screams, that he needs to be under the jail for what she witnessed on Saturday or what she heard. So do you guys think that she will be ended up spilling more tea and that Jazzy will also be spilling Liv's tea? Or do you think that, the situation is going to die out and everybody's going to move on? But we all know now that things are happening, and it just makes it even more weird for the whole situation for her to go back to regular vlogging. And we all know that things are secretly going down in that house, and not only to Jasmine, but in front of those kids. It's a horrible situation, and I don't know what will happen, but I do know that things will continue to go down, and, it is going to get worse for her. And, I hope that in the midst of all this, the kids are taken out of this situation, but we will keep going with this whole thing, because I do know that more things are to come and go down. So comment down below what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and stay tuned for another one.
Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.